The Grimoirum Verum, often called the True Grimoire, is one of the most intriguing and controversial books in the history of occultism. Its mysterious origins sparked debate. Was it truly written in 1517 by a figure known as Alabek the Egyptian? Or is it a later forgery from the 18th century? Unraveling this question is the first step into understanding the book's place in magical tradition. Inside its pages, the Grimoirum Verum lays out a structured system divided into three parts: magical tools, detailed demonic hierarchy, and the rituals required to summon and command these spirits. The book doesn't shy away from controversy. It's offering spells and instructions that have fascinated and alarmed readers alike. Central to the grimoire is its portrayal of Hell's leadership, featuring powerful demons like Lucifer, Beelzebub, and Astaroth. Beyond these infamous figures, the text lists lesser spirits, each with their unique powers and roles, giving insight into a complex spiritual hierarchy, rarely matched by other grimoires. But is the Grimoirum a literal manual for summoning demons, or is it better understood as esoteric symbolism? Many occultists argue that the rituals are as much psychological tools as magical practices. Comparisons to texts like the Goetia and the Key of Solomon reveal both similarities and unique features of the Verum's approach. Concerns about real dangers have long surrounded the use of the book. Some claim that the rituals carry genuine risks, while others suggest that much of the fear stems from religious teachings and superstition. Modern practitioners offer varied testimonies. Some recount extraordinary experiences. Others caution about psychological effects, despite or perhaps because of its dark reputation. The Grimoirum Verum continues to influence contemporary ceremonial magic and Luciferian paths. Its presence extends into popular culture, inspiring movies, games, and books, ensuring the grimoire remains a subject of fascination for new generations. Ultimately, the question remains: is the Grimoirum Verum a genuine magical text, a historical fake, or a symbolic tool for inner transformation? This video invites you to explore these possibilities and decide for yourself what this enigmatic book truly represents. The origins of the Grimoirum Verum remain shrouded in mystery and uncertainty, attributed to a figure named Alabek the Egyptian. The text supposedly dates back to 1517 in Memphis, Egypt. However, no reliable historical records confirm the existence of Alabek, and no manuscript from that period has ever been found. This claim of ancient origin seems to be a deliberate attempt to add authority and mystique to the book, a common practice in occult writings. Many grimoires from this era falsely credit legendary figures to enhance credibility. The supposed link to Egypt also taps into the long-standing association of that land with esoteric wisdom and hidden knowledge. Scholars today largely agree that the Grimoirum Verum is not genuinely from the 16th century, but likely emerged during the 18th century in Europe, possibly France or Italy. This period saw a proliferation of grimoires, many of which rehashed older magical texts, including the Key of Solomon and the Lesser Key of Solomon Goetia. Instead of being an original work, the Verum appears to be a compilation or adaptation, incorporating popular magical traditions into a practical manual. This raises questions about its authenticity, but also highlights the transmission of occult knowledge through the centuries. The book's title, which means true grimoire in Latin, implies a claim of being the most authentic and effective magical text available. This self-designation is not unusual among grimoires, which often compete to present themselves as the definitive source of magical knowledge. Such bold claims helped attract practitioners searching for reliable instruction in spirit conjuring and magical rituals. The title itself is a marketing tool. It's promising readers access to genuine power and ancient secrets, whether or not the book truly delivers on that promise. Though it shares many similarities with older grimoires, the Grimoirum stands out for its clear, practical instructions and emphasis on commanding demonic spirits. Unlike some texts that mix theology, philosophy, and magic, the Verum reads more like a user manual, focused on ritual precision and effectiveness. It names powerful entities such as Lucifer, Beelzebub, and Astaroth, and provides detailed conjurations, seals, and instructions for summoning and controlling them. This has led to its reputation as a black grimoire, associated with dark magic and demonic pacts, though this label is often shaped by religious and cultural fears. The claim that the text originates from Egypt is likely a symbolic gesture, capitalizing on the country's ancient reputation as a center of mystical knowledge and magic. For centuries, Western occultists have looked to Egypt as the birthplace of esoteric wisdom, making it a popular attribution for magical manuscripts. By connecting the Verum to this tradition, the author aimed to imbue it with an aura of mystery and authority that transcended its actual historical origins. This helped it stand out from other grimoires circulating in Europe at the time. Absence of any mention of the Grimoirum Verum before the 18th century strongly suggests that it is a relatively late addition to the magical canon. Unlike other famous grimoires with well-documented histories, the Verum appears suddenly, without clear provenance or historical references. This has led some occult historians to believe it was fabricated or heavily edited to suit the magical needs of its time. It served as a practical manual for ceremonial magicians, especially those following Luciferian or left-hand path traditions, seeking to exert control over spirits rather than communion with divine forces. The language and symbolism within the text reflect cultural and religious influences typical of 18th century European occultism. The mixture of Latin, Hebrew, and corrupted biblical names of spirits aligns with Christian demonology as understood in that period. This linguistic cocktail signals a Western origin and counters the idea that the book is genuinely Egyptian. It also reveals how occultists of the time synthesized different traditions to create grimoires that resonated with contemporary spiritual beliefs and magical practices. Despite being condemned and banned by religious authorities, the Grimoirum Verum survived centuries of persecution through secret copying and transmission among occult circles. Its survival is a testament to the enduring fascination with forbidden knowledge and the human desire to access hidden powers. The book's clandestine circulation helped preserve a magical lineage that still captivates practitioners today. It also highlights how dangerous ideas about magic were suppressed but never fully eradicated. In modern times, the Grimoirum Verum has experienced a resurgence of interest thanks to the internet and global occult communities. Digital copies, discussions, and analyses have made it accessible to a broader audience. Renewing debates about its authenticity and efficacy, it is both studied as a historical artifact and used as a working text by ceremonial magicians and occult enthusiasts. This dual status continues to blur the lines between academic study and spiritual practice. Ultimately, the true origins of the Grimoirum Verum may remain unknowable, caught between myth and history. While probably not the ancient Egyptian manuscript it claims to be, it is nonetheless a significant text within Western occult traditions. Its blend of practical magic, demonology, and ritual symbolism reflects centuries of magical evolution. Whether viewed as a hoax, a compendium, or a genuine mystical tool, the Verum's impact on occultism and its allure continue to endure. It invites us to question the nature of truth in magical knowledge and the power of belief. The Grimoirum Verum is divided into 3 distinct parts, each covering essential elements of its magical system. The first section deals with the tools necessary for ritual work: wands, inks, pentacles, and perfumes, all of which must be consecrated before use. These tools are not just symbolic. They are believed to carry specific spiritual energies that facilitate communication with spirits. Detailed instructions for preparing and sanctifying these implements are provided to ensure their effectiveness. This emphasis on preparation highlights the book's practical nature and its concern with the proper execution of magical rites. The second section of the book is devoted to the hierarchy of demons and spirits. It names principal figures like Lucifer, Beelzebub, and Astaroth, presenting them as rulers over lesser spirits with distinct domains and powers. Each spirit has its own sigil, a symbolic signature that the magician must use to summon and control it. This section includes information about the spirit's roles, temperaments, and the appropriate times and rituals for their invocation. This elaborate taxonomy reflects an organized worldview in which spiritual forces can be commanded and harnessed. The final section of the Grimoirum Verum contains a variety of spells and magical operations. These range from simple tasks, such as obtaining invisibility or protection, to more complex rituals aimed at acquiring wealth, love, or influence over others. Unlike some grimoires that are vague or poetic, the Verum offers very explicit, step-by-step instructions designed for practical use. It leaves little room for ambiguity, making it accessible even for less experienced practitioners. This straightforwardness is part of what has made the book controversial, as it openly encourages dealings with demonic entities. One of the most controversial aspects of the Verum's content is its direct approach to summoning demons and binding them to the magician's will. It provides specific conjurations, names, and seals to control these spirits. Often without warnings or ethical considerations, its blunt methodology differs from more philosophical grimoires that include cautions or spiritual reflections. Verum treats magic as a technical skill, akin to a craft or science, focused on results rather than morality. This practical tone contributes to its reputation as a manual of black magic. The detailed descriptions of magical tools in the first section are not merely ritualistic accessories. They hold symbolic meaning connected to the forces invoked. For example, the wand is described as a conduit of power, the ink as a vessel for sacred words, and the perfumes as attractors of spirits. Each tool's preparation involves consecrations using specific prayers, incense, and gestures. Preparation is intended to create the right spiritual atmosphere for summoning and controlling entities, reflecting the belief that the magician must align the physical and metaphysical worlds. In its demonology, the Verum distinguishes between day and night spirits, each with different characteristics and strengths. Day spirits are considered less dangerous and more accessible, while night spirits are stronger but riskier to summon. This classification guides the magician in choosing which entities to work with, depending on their goals and experience. The book also explains the planetary hours and other timing considerations important for effective magic. This integration of astrology and demonology is typical of grimoires from the early modern period. The spells and rituals included in the third section are remarkably varied, covering a wide range of human desires and needs. From winning love to acquiring wealth, and from gaining protection to causing harm. The Verum offers instructions for nearly every purpose. Some spells require the use of complex diagrams and sigils, while others involve spoken words, gestures, and the burning of specific herbs or resins. The effectiveness of these operations depends on the practitioner's precision and belief, making discipline essential. The Grimoirum Verum also includes detailed seals and sigils, which are crucial for spirit invocation and control. These symbols function as a kind of magical signature, representing the essence and power of the spirits. The magician must inscribe these sigils on parchment or other materials and use them within ritual circles or other sacred spaces. Mastery of these symbols is essential for success, and errors can lead to failure or unintended consequences. Use of sigils emphasizes the importance of visual and symbolic language in the magical arts. Despite its practical tone, the Verum's instructions assume a significant level of spiritual authority on the part of the magician. The book suggests that only those with proper knowledge and willpower should attempt its rituals, hinting at dangers for the unprepared. The lack of ethical warnings may be intentional, emphasizing the magician's responsibility and the serious nature of summoning powerful entities. This assumption sets it apart from other grimoires that offer more guidance on spiritual readiness and protection. In conclusion, the Grimoirum presents itself as a comprehensive and practical manual for the invocation of spirits and magical work. Its three-part structure clearly defines the necessary tools, the spirits involved, and the rituals to command them. While its contents are explicit and detailed, they reflect a worldview centered on control and power rather than spiritual communion or ethical reflection. This makes it both a fascinating and controversial text within occult literature. Valued by practitioners seeking direct results, but feared by those wary of its dark associations. The Grimoirum Verum presents a detailed hierarchy of demons. With Lucifer reigning as the supreme ruler of hell, Lucifer is depicted not merely as an adversary of God, but as a powerful sovereign commanding legions of spirits.
This portrayal emphasizes
his role as a leader who governs with order and authority rather than chaos. In the context of the grimoire, Lucifer represents ultimate power and knowledge, often invoked for wisdom, protection, or dominance. His place at the top of the hierarchy reflects a common theme in occultism of venerating fallen angels as sources of hidden truth. Directly beneath Lucifer are other high-ranking demons such as Beelzebub, known as the Lord of the Flies, and Astaroth, a powerful Duke of Hell. Beelzebub is often associated with pride and corruption, but also commands respect as a major spirit with control over other demons. Astaroth, meanwhile, is linked to knowledge and secrets, often portrayed as a fallen angel who can reveal hidden truths and influence human affairs. Together, these entities form the ruling triad of the infernal realm, according to the Verum, each with distinct roles and responsibilities. The book further categorizes lesser spirits under the command of these three principal demons. These spirits are believed to possess various abilities, ranging from granting favors and knowledge to causing harm or protection. Each demon or spirit has a unique sigil used for summoning and binding during rituals. The hierarchy reflects a complex system where spiritual forces are organized, almost like a feudal structure. It's allowing magicians to negotiate with different ranks depending on their needs and expertise. Interestingly, the Grimoirum Verum assigns specific domains and functions to many demons, aligning them with human concerns such as love, wealth, vengeance, or wisdom. This practical categorization allows practitioners to select spirits that best suit their magical goals. For example, some spirits specialize in matters of the heart, while others govern over material gain or protection from enemies. This system suggests a form of transactional magic, where spirits are employed to fulfill requests in exchange for offerings or obedience. The demonic hierarchy in the Verum draws heavily on Christian demonology, but also incorporates elements from earlier pagan and mystical traditions. The fusion of biblical fallen angels with older mythologies reflects the syncretic nature of European occultism during the early modern period. Its blending creates a rich tapestry of spiritual beings that practitioners can work with, each carrying symbolic meanings and historical associations that deepen the magical experience. Another notable feature is the dual nature attributed to many spirits. Some are seen as potentially beneficial or neutral if properly summoned and controlled, while others are inherently dangerous or malevolent.
The grimoire implies that mastery
and willpower of the magician are crucial to safely navigate this hierarchy. Without strict discipline and knowledge, contact with these entities could lead to spiritual harm or possession. This serves as both a warning and an incentive to study and prepare thoroughly before attempting rituals. The Verum also discusses the importance of ritual timing when invoking specific demons, linking their activity to planetary hours and astrological signs. This celestial alignment is believed to strengthen the magician's influence and reduce risks. Such astrological considerations show how the grimoire integrates multiple occult disciplines, combining demonology, astrology, and ceremonial magic into a cohesive system. This sophistication adds layers of complexity and mystique to the magical process. The sigils assigned to each demon serve as powerful magical tools, acting as gateways or contracts for summoning and commanding spirits. These symbols must be drawn with precision and charged with energy during rituals. The success of invoking the correct spirit depends on the correct use of these sigils, making them a central element of the grimoire's methodology. Their designs often incorporate sacred geometry and esoteric symbolism to enhance their efficacy. The grimoire's depiction of the infernal court not only provides a map of spiritual forces, but also reflects human social and political structures. Projected onto the unseen world, This anthropomorphic view helps magicians conceptualize and relate to spirits in a familiar hierarchy, making the daunting realm of demons more accessible and navigable. It also reflects the belief that order exists even in the spiritual realm, allowing humans to impose will through ritual and knowledge. In summary, the demonic hierarchy detailed in the Grimoirum Verum is a sophisticated and structured system that reflects centuries of occult thought. Lucifer, Beelzebub, and Astaroth stand as powerful leaders, supported by numerous lesser spirits with specific roles and attributes. This complex organization allows magicians to tailor their workings to particular goals, emphasizing control, precision, and knowledge. Whether viewed as literal entities or symbolic archetypes, these demons continue to captivate occultists and shape magical traditions worldwide. One of the biggest debates around the Grimoirum Verum concerns how its rituals and instructions should be interpreted. Are the spells meant to be taken as literal commands to summon and control actual demons? Or are they symbolic frameworks for inner psychological transformation? This question divides scholars and practitioners alike. Some view the grimoire as a straightforward manual of black magician instruction book for wielding supernatural power. Others see it as a coded esoteric text full of allegories meant to guide the magician's spiritual evolution. Those who advocate a literal reading argue that the precise names, seals, and rituals reflect actual entities and forces. For these practitioners, following the book's instructions carefully allows direct communication with spirits that exist independently of the magician's mind. The elaborate conjurations and invocations are not metaphorical, but functional, serving as a magical contract between the practitioner and the spirit world. This perspective requires strict adherence to ritual form and timing to achieve real effects. On the other hand, some occultists and scholars propose that the Grimoirum Verum operates primarily on a symbolic or psychological level. They interpret the demons and rituals as archetypes representing aspects of the subconscious mind or universal energies. From this viewpoint, the grimoire's power lies in its ability to focus the magician's intent and will, acting as a tool for self-discovery and transformation rather than literal spirit summoning. This approach emphasizes the role of imagination and belief in magical practice. Comparisons with other grimoires, such as the Godia or the Key of Solomon, reveal that the Verum is somewhat unique in its stark and practical tone. While other texts often include philosophical or theological reflections, the Verum tends to focus almost exclusively on ritual procedure and outcomes. This can suggest a more literal, pragmatic approach to magic, where the goal is effective command over spirits rather than spiritual enlightenment or moral teaching. The grimoire's use of specific magical tools, sigils, and ceremonial elements also supports the idea that it functions as a hands-on manual. These elements create a tangible ritual environment that helps the magician to concentrate and manifest their will. Whether these tools actually channel external forces or simply act as psychological triggers is open to interpretation. However, the emphasis on precise ritual preparation and use reflects a belief in the power of symbolic acts to influence reality. From a symbolic perspective, the hierarchy of demons can be seen as representing different internal forces or challenges that the magician must confront. For example, Lucifer might symbolize the rebellious spirit or the quest for forbidden knowledge, while Beelzebub could represent pride or temptation. Working with these demons in ritual could then be a way to integrate or master aspects of the self, using externalized imagery to facilitate inner growth. Some modern magical traditions that use the Grimoirum Verum lean heavily on the symbolic interpretation, treating the text as a psychological and ritual framework rather than a literal summoning guide. In these paths, the focus is on personal empowerment and transformation through ritual drama. This allows practitioners to work safely with powerful archetypes without necessarily invoking external entities, making the grimoire accessible to a wider range of spiritual seekers. Despite these symbolic readings, the historical context of the Verum, merging from a period rich in belief in actual spirits, makes it likely that many original users intended a literal interpretation. During the 18th century, the distinction between psychological and supernatural explanations of magic was less clear, and the assumption of real spirits was common. This historical lens helps us understand why the book's instructions are so direct and uncompromising. The ambiguity between literal and symbolic interpretations adds to the Grimoirum Verum's enduring mystery and appeal. Framework that can be adapted to different worldviews and levels of magical experience. Whether the spirits summoned are real beings or projections of the subconscious, the ritual's impact on the magician's consciousness and environment remains significant. This duality allows the text to bridge traditional and modern magical paradigms. In conclusion, the Grimoirum Verum sits at the crossroads between literal magical practice and esoteric symbolism. Its clear instructions and detailed demonology suggest a manual for real spirit invocation. Yet its archetypal imagery and ritual drama also invite psychological interpretation. This multiplicity enriches its legacy, inviting readers to explore both outer and inner realms of magic. Ultimately, each practitioner must decide how to engage with its potent and mysterious contents. The Grimoirum Verum has long been surrounded by stories of danger and dark consequences. Many who approach it worry about the risks of summoning demonic entities, fearing spiritual possession, curses, or psychological harm. This fear is partly rooted in religious teachings that portray demons as inherently evil and harmful. Within many Christian traditions, interacting with these spirits is forbidden, as it could lead to damnation or spiritual corruption. These warnings have shaped popular perceptions of the grimoire as a dangerous book. Despite the fears, some modern occultists argue that the Grimoirum Verum's rituals are safe if approached with respect, knowledge, and proper preparation. They emphasize the importance of understanding the symbolic language and maintaining control during the workings. For these practitioners, the danger comes not from the spirits themselves, but from ignorance, carelessness, or lack of discipline. This viewpoint frames the grimoire as a tool that, like any powerful instrument, requires skill to wield safely. Historical accounts include testimonies from individuals who claim to have experienced genuine supernatural phenomena after following the grimoire's rituals. These stories vary widely, from dramatic spiritual encounters to psychological disturbances. However, the veracity and interpretation of these experiences are often difficult to verify. Some could be explained by suggestion, altered states of consciousness, or placebo effects, while others remain unexplained. Such testimonies add to the book's mystique, but also its reputation for risk. Religious fear has historically played a significant role in shaping the narrative around the Grimoire. The Christian Church, especially during the early modern period, condemned grimoires as tools of the devil. Possession and exorcism stories reinforced the idea that summoning demons was inherently dangerous and blasphemous. This religious condemnation influenced legal actions against practitioners and contributed to the grimoire's clandestine status. Fear of divine punishment has long been a deterrent. Psychologically, working with the Grimoirum Verum can be intense and unsettling. The vivid imagery of demons, the atmosphere of ritual isolation, and the invocation of powerful names can trigger deep emotional and mental responses. For some, this can lead to anxiety, paranoia, or dissociation if not handled carefully. Modern psychological perspectives suggest that some of the dangers attributed to the grimoire may be explained by the mind's reaction to intense ritual experience rather than external spiritual forces. Occult practitioners who work with the Verum often stress the importance of spiritual protection and grounding techniques. These include cleansing rituals, meditation, and the use of protective symbols or prayers. The magician's mindset, confidence, clarity of purpose, and respect for the forces invoked is considered crucial to minimizing risks. Such practices underscore the balance between courage and caution necessary when engaging with the grimoires, dark and powerful energies. There is also debate about whether the dangers associated with the Grimoirum Verum are exaggerated by religious institutions to discourage people from exploring forbidden knowledge. Some argue that this fear serves as a social control mechanism, maintaining orthodox beliefs and discouraging alternative spiritual paths. From this angle, the book's reputation as dangerous might be as much about cultural power dynamics as about actual risk. In contemporary occult circles, some users report positive outcomes from working with the grimoire, such as increased confidence, spiritual insight, or manifestation of desires. These testimonies challenge the narrative of inherent danger, suggesting that the book's power depends largely on the practitioner's intention and preparedness. Nonetheless, even advocates caution that respect for the forces and rigorous study are non-negotiable to avoid negative experiences. Another aspect of danger comes from misinterpretation or misuse of the grimoire's instructions. Improper ritual practice, ignorance of the symbolic meanings, or reckless invocation of spirits can lead to unintended consequences. These may manifest as psychological distress, failed workings, or an overall sense of imbalance. This reinforces the idea that the Grimoirum Verum is not a casual text, but a serious manual requiring discipline and maturity. In summary, the perceived dangers of the Grimoirum Verum are a complex mix of genuine risk, psychological effects, and religious fear. While the book contains powerful rituals that should be approached with caution, much of its fearsome reputation is shaped by cultural and historical factors. Modern practitioners who respect the grimoire and prepare adequately often report safe and meaningful experiences. Ultimately, the risks depend on the individual's knowledge, intention, and mindset. The Grimoirum Verum continues to captivate occultists and curious minds centuries after its first appearance. Despite its obscure origins and controversial content, the book remains relevant within modern ceremonial magic circles. Its practical instructions and direct approach appeal to practitioners seeking a no-nonsense guide to spirit invocation. The text's survival and circulation in modern occult libraries and digital formats demonstrate its lasting importance as a magical classic. Contemporary ceremonial magicians, especially those following Luciferian or left-hand path traditions, often reference the Grimoirum Verum as a foundational text. Its detailed demonology and ritual procedures provide a framework for spiritual exploration outside mainstream religious contexts. Many see it as a tool to challenge orthodox beliefs, embrace personal empowerment, and access hidden knowledge. The book's focus on individual will and control over spiritual forces resonates strongly with modern esoteric philosophies. The Verum's influence extends beyond strictly magical communities into popular culture. Elements of its demonology and symbolism have appeared in movies, video games, and literature that explore dark fantasy and occult themes. This exposure introduces the book's ideas to broader audiences, often in fictionalized or stylized forms. Though these portrayals can be sensationalized, they help keep the grimoire's legacy alive and spark interest in occult studies. In the digital age, the Grimoirum Verum is widely accessible, with many translations, commentaries, and instructional videos available online. This democratization of occult knowledge allows new generations to explore its contents with fewer barriers. Online forums and social media groups dedicated to grimoires and magic discuss its rituals, share experiences, and debate interpretations. This communal engagement fosters a dynamic and evolving understanding of the text. Modern practitioners often adapt the Verum's rituals to fit contemporary spiritual frameworks. Some integrate its demonology into eclectic magical systems or blend it with psychology, meditation, and energy work. This flexibility highlights the grimoire's adaptability and its capacity to inspire creative approaches to magic. Such reinterpretations may differ significantly from historical practices, but preserve the core emphasis on willpower and ritual discipline. The book's continuing fascination is partly due to its mysterious authorship and enigmatic history. The figure of Alabek, the Egyptian, the supposed author, adds an exotic and arcane aura that intrigues researchers and occultists. The ambiguity about the grimoire's true origins invites speculation and myth-making, contributing to its mythos as a forbidden or lost text of powerful knowledge. This sense of mystery enhances its allure. Academic interest in the Grimoirum Verum has also grown in recent years. Scholars of occult history study it alongside other grimoires to understand the development of Western esotericism. These analyses place the Verum within the broader context of magical literature, demonology, and early modern spiritual practices. Such research often highlights the book's syncretism, combining Christian, Jewish, and pagan elements, which reflects historical currents of religious and cultural exchange. The Grimoirum Verum's practical, results-oriented style contrasts with many other esoteric texts that emphasize meditation or ethical teachings. This has made it a go-to reference for magicians who prioritize effectiveness and direct interaction with spiritual forces. Its reputation for dark or forbidden knowledge also appeals to those attracted to the taboo or the shadow side of spirituality. This edge maintains its popularity among a niche but dedicated community. The book's appearance in occult media such as documentary films, podcasts, and YouTube channels further cements its place in modern magical discourse. Influential occultists often cite or demonstrate Verum rituals, exposing their audiences to its contents. This media presence contributes to the grimoire's status as both a historical curiosity and a living tradition. It's inspiring new practitioners to explore its pages. In conclusion, the Grimoirum Verum remains a powerful and provocative work that bridges past and present occultism. Its practical rituals, rich demonology, and aura of mystery continue to inspire fascination and debate. Whether studied as a historical artifact or used as a living manual, the Verum challenges magicians to confront the boundaries between light and shadow, power and responsibility. Its enduring appeal lies in its ability to provoke thought, exploration, and transformation. The Grimoirum Verum stands as a mysterious and controversial text within the world of occult literature. Its origins are uncertain, its contents dark and provocative, and its impact enduring. The question remains, is it a genuine grimoire containing real magical knowledge, a clever historical forgery designed to deceive, or a symbolic tool meant for inner transformation? This ambiguity fuels ongoing debates among scholars, magicians, and enthusiasts. Those who believe in the Verum's authenticity argue that its detailed rituals and demonology reflect genuine ancient knowledge passed down through secret traditions. They point to the consistency of its system with other grimoires and historical accounts of spirit summoning. For these practitioners, the book is a powerful manual that, when used correctly, can access supernatural forces and alter reality. The Verum's practical nature is seen as proof of its legitimacy. Skeptics, however, highlight the lack of definitive historical evidence about the book's true origin. The earliest known copies date from the 18th century, long after the alleged original composition date of 1517. Some scholars suggest it was a fabricated text designed to capitalize on the popularity of grimoires or to serve as a spiritual warning. From this perspective, the Verum is a product of its time, reflecting cultural anxieties about magic and demonology rather than authentic ancient wisdom. Another interpretation sees the Grimoirum Verum as a symbolic or psychological text rather than a literal magical manual. Its demons and rituals can be understood as archetypes and tools for self-exploration and transformation. This reading aligns with modern occult and psychological approaches that use ritual and mythology to access the subconscious mind. The book's power, then, lies in its capacity to guide personal growth rather than invoke external spirits. Verum's blend of Christian demonology with older mystical traditions adds to its complexity. This syncretism suggests it was crafted by someone familiar with diverse spiritual systems, which complicates efforts to pin down a single truth. Whether that creator intended deception, teaching, or empowerment is unclear. The book's multifaceted nature allows it to function on multiple levels, making any single explanation incomplete. Practitioners' experiences with the Verum vary widely, from transformative spiritual awakenings to frustrating or frightening encounters. These subjective outcomes highlight the grimoire's power, but also the risks of engaging with such potent material. Personal intention, psychological readiness, and ritual discipline heavily influence the results. This variability supports the The idea that the text's truth is partially dependent on the user's approach and belief, the enduring mystery surrounding the Grimoirum Verum contributes to its power. Uncertainty invites exploration and speculation, keeping the book alive in occult circles. Its ambiguous status as truth or deception makes it a compelling subject for study, experimentation, and debate. This tension between belief and skepticism reflects a broader human fascination with the unknown and the forbidden. For some, the Verum represents forbidden knowledge, a key to unlocking hidden realms and untapped potential. For others, it is a cautionary tale about the dangers of dabbling in dark forces. Both interpretations have validity, depending on one's worldview. This duality makes the grimoire a mirror reflecting the fears, hopes, and ambitions of its readers across generations. In modern occult practice, the Grimoirum Verum is often treated as a tool neither wholly true nor false, but powerful when used wisely. This pragmatic approach allows magicians to draw on its rituals and demonology without necessarily committing to any dogmatic belief about its origins or literal truth. This flexibility has helped the book remain relevant and respected in diverse magical communities. Ultimately, the Grimoirum Verum challenges each reader to decide for themselves what it represents: an ancient source of magical power, a historical forgery, or a profound symbolic text. Its enigmatic nature encourages deep inquiry, personal experience, and critical thinking, whether truth or deception. The grimoire remains a fascinating gateway into the shadowy realms of occult knowledge and human imagination. The Grimoirum Verum remains one of the most enigmatic and debated texts in occult history. Its uncertain origins, detailed demonology, and practical rituals continue to captivate and divide scholars, magicians, and curious seekers alike. Whether it is an authentic, magical manual passed down from ancient times, a clever forgery created to intrigue or deceive, or a symbolic text designed for personal transformation, the truth is elusive and multifaceted. For some, the Verum is a powerful source of genuine knowledge, a practical guide to summoning and commanding spiritual forces. Its structured hierarchy of demons and detailed instructions suggest a system built on real magical principles, which many practitioners still use with respect and caution. These believers view the text as a key to unlocking hidden powers and navigating unseen realms. Others remain skeptical, pointing out the lack of historical proof and the suspicious timing of the earliest known editions. They see the book as a product of its cultural and religious environmenta, text meant to evoke fear or fascination rather than provide real magical efficacy. From this perspective, the Verum reflects more about the human psyche and societal fears than actual supernatural power. Third viewpoint sees the Grimoirum Verum as a profound symbolic work. In this reading, the demons and rituals are archetypes and metaphors for inner psychological processes and spiritual growth. The book becomes less about external forces and more about confronting one's own shadow, desires and fears through ritualized self-exploration. The variety of experiences reported by practitioners highlights the grimoire's complexity. Some recount transformative spiritual encounters, while others warn of psychological strain or unsettling consequences. This diversity suggests that the impact of the Verum depends heavily on the individual's intentions, beliefs, and level of preparation. Its continued influence in modern ceremonial magic, Luciferian paths, and popular culture underscores the Grimoirum Verum's lasting significance. Whether studied as a historical artifact, a magical tool, or a psychological text, it challenges readers to engage with the unknown, question reality, and explore the boundaries between light and darkness. Ultimately, the Grimoirum Verum invites each person to explore its pages with open eyes and a discerning mind. Its mysteries may never be fully unraveled, but the journey itself reveals much about the human desire for knowledge, power, and transformation. The end, whether truth or deception, it remains a compelling gateway to the shadowy realms of magic and the imagination.